This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. So let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound, and if you recall during last week's reports, I had put up the fib levels for the most recent rally, and prices came down to that 61.8. I did abandon that particular trade idea only because the 61.8 had been violated a few times. So moving forward now, assuming flat or no position moving forward here, what I would look for is a potential for a double bottom using this first low here on the left as a reference point, and looking for the second bottom to form someplace over here, and this price point is right near that 84 figure. So with prices at about 85.07 now, this trade could be about 24 to 48 hours away. I'll certainly update this trade tomorrow and how it looks, but this is something we can certainly keep an eye on over the next 24 to 48 hours. The next chart is the Aussie Kiwi, and this is the daily chart, as was the Euro Pound, which you just viewed. And this is the simple channel line that I've added here. I mentioned this was a trade recommendation a few reports back, short off the upper resistance line here. Now prices are in the middle of the range. If you did enter this trade on the short side, although I did mention at the time that it was a low confidence trade idea, but with that being said, assuming you did enter, I would look to exit the position now with prices in the middle of the range. And when prices are in the middle of the range, we really shouldn't do anything. So I would just be on the sidelines here, but certainly, viewing the market within this lens right here, within these two channel lines, as I do think they are valid and should provide at least initial resistance or initial support if prices come down to those levels. The next chart is the Pound Swiss. Not much has changed here. I was mentioning last week a potential double top trade off this high price point here, which is just above that 81 figure. Prices didn't get all the way up there, I think this is about the 80-70 area. So close enough, but close enough for some, maybe not close enough for others. Ideally, personally, I didn't enter this trade. I'd like to see prices actually go up and breach that 81 figure. And with prices now at 80.40, and this is a volatile pair, certainly within the next 24 hours or so, we could have prices reach that area. Now, personally, the way I like to trade double bottoms, only because the risk to reward is so incredibly favorable, what I would look for is actually look to enter anywhere above that 81 figure and maybe have a 30-40 pip stop, if prices continue to exceed that initial price point here, which is about the 81.10 area. Also, after the candle closes of the candle that does form the double top, we can also enter at that point, and at that point the risk levels will be a little bit better defined, as well as our confidence. But the only issue there is that you might have prices come up, hit that level, and then retrace significantly, which would of course affect the risk to reward. It would diminish or weaken the risk to reward ratio. So this is something we can certainly keep an eye on over the next 24 to 48 hours. The last chart is the Euro Swiss. Not much has changed here. This is the longer term resistance line. Let me zoom out, that I've been using for the past several months. We can see prices did break out above it, and then there was a successful back test, although it wasn't very clean as there were some closes beneath the level. But now prices are rallying off that back test, which, while it wasn't clean, turns out to be successful in hindsight. So moving forward now, assuming you have no position, what I might look for is prices to find temporary resistance, maybe near this 53.80 area, and then come back down to test the longer term support line. So that would be the primary trade signal that I'd be looking for over the next 24 to 48 hours and throughout the rest of this week. As prices coming down to this longer term support line, we'd look to enter just above the line, maybe a few pips above the line, or at the support line with a stop, maybe 50 to 75 pips beneath the line. Again, my name is Matt Russell, and also stay tuned for a preview of the DailyFX forums. I want to go ahead and formally welcome everybody to the DailyFX forum. And I want to explain a little bit about the forum and the wealth of information that you can obtain from the forum, and how to go about doing so, how to find the things you want. So I'm just going to dive right in right now. And this is DailyFX.com, and this is usually how I navigate my way towards the forums. Obviously, it really depends on each individual how they access the forums, but this is how I go ahead and do it. I go DailyFX.com, go ahead and click on the forum on top, and this brings you to the DailyFX forum homepage, and this highlights the most recent posts with the subject. So if you see anything that you're interested in, you can obviously go ahead and click. What I like to do is click on the forums tab like this, and go ahead and view the forums in the normal, typical way that forums are set up. And here you go. There are a bunch of threads down here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go directly to the forum the video you just viewed, where you viewed it. So let's go ahead. This is the DailyFX Instructor Tips Forum, identifying trades with DailyFX. That's me. And go ahead and click on the most recent post. So this is where you are right now viewing the video, although the video will be the video beneath this one that you're watching right now. So normally when I'm on the forums, and what I would do is just scroll up to the top. Certainly you can check out any of my previous videos, and you know, especially if I did mention them in the report or in the video that you're viewing at that moment. And what I will do is go ahead and click on the forums, and then look for the forums that I like, you know, that I have interest in. One of them would be the Euro Dollar forum, and this, again, it's really up to each individual trader as to exactly how they want to use the forum. Personally, what I like to do, the first thing I do is I'll go to the Euro Dollar thread, I'll go and click on the latest post. And what I'll do here is, and again, I just want to, you know, really emphasize this point. It depends on your exact mindset when you're viewing. And me as a trader, I have some experience. So what I do and how I personally use the forum is I go through and I'll read what people are saying about the euro, what their trade ideas are. I certainly, you know, try to maintain my own individual objectivity, and I really don't pay much attention to what other traders are saying in terms of my trading. I'm not going to certainly see something on a forum and then go jump into a trade, but what it will do, it will open my eyes to certain trading opportunities, maybe a certain line or a certain time frame that I haven't looked at before. So that's one way that I personally like to utilize the DailyFX forum. But certainly for newer traders, there are plenty of topics that you can go over. Let's say, you know, you might not be well versed in terms of certain currency pairs that you want to learn about. Scalping, you might not know what Elliott wave is. You can go ahead and click there and see exactly what you can, you know, what you can understand, what you might not understand, and then certainly feel free to ask questions about any of these topics that you have. Maybe the carry trade, maybe you have some questions about that, or the sentiment, the SSI, or the latest economic news, FX programmers, the webinars, MT4. Any questions about active trader, you can go ahead and click on those threads. So again, it's very free, very open, and there is a wealth of information here and just waiting for to be utilized. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening.